If you've been watching the market lately and thinking, why are there so many homes just sitting there? You're not imagining it. And the reason matters a lot if you're thinking about making a move this year. Let's talk about what's actually happening right now because this isn't a crash and it's not a boom either. It's what we call a shift. Here's what I'm seeing as really boots on the ground. Homes aren't flying off the market like they did a few years ago, but they're also not collapsing in value. What has changed is buyer behavior. Buyers today are they're more cautious, they're selective because they can be, they have more choices out there, and they're more payment focused than maybe they have been in the past few years, especially since we're seeing rates now at their lowest point in the last 3 years. From what I'm seeing and hearing, buyers are also far less emotional than they were during the frenzy years. They're still buying, but only when something makes sense. That's why some homes are selling quickly and others are just sitting. So let's look at the reasoning behind that. The number one reason homes are sitting is not interest rates alone, it's pricing and positioning. Many sellers are pricing based on what their neighbor got last year, but what I like to explain to my seller clients is that we aren't looking for last year's buyer. We're looking for today's buyer. They're also focusing on what the market used to tolerate or what they hope a buyer will pay for their home based on their own feelings and emotions. But buyers aren't shopping based on hope anymore. They're shopping based on monthly payment, they're shopping based on value, and they're shopping with alternatives. And if a home feels even slightly overpriced for what it offers, they simply move on because they can. There isn't that same sense of urgency that we had in 2020 and 21. No fear of missing out. So here's what this means if you're a seller. Now, if you're thinking about selling now or later on this year, the truth is the market is rewarding sellers who are realistic, who are strategic, who are prepared, but also, again, realistic. Homes that are priced correctly and positioned well are still moving, many times with multiple offers. Homes that aren't are becoming stale, and that's where leverage starts to slip if you're a seller. This isn't a market where you throw a number out and see what happens. We had that, but that's not now. It's a market where strategy matters more than timing. How you come to market really matters. How you price, how you communicate value matters. Now, let's switch gears a bit and learn what this means if you're a buyer watching this. This part is very important. This is one of the first times in a long time where you can negotiate again. You can ask questions. You can take a breath before making a decision. You're not competing with 6 other offers, or at least not on every single home. You're not waiving contingencies just to win, and that creates opportunity if you're prepared. Because when the market shifts again, and it absolutely will, this leverage won't last. What I'm telling my buyer clients right now is that this is a quiet opportunity window, not a frenzy, not a panic, but a moment where thoughtful decisions are rewarded. The people who do well in markets like this aren't the ones waiting and watching the headlines to tell them that it's safe. They're the ones who understand their numbers, the buyers who know what they're solving for, and those that really make intentional moves now, not in the spring when everyone else is out there looking. Now, if you're feeling unsure about the market right now, that's totally normal, but uncertainty doesn't mean you shouldn't act. It just means you should act with clarity. Whether you're buying, selling, or just watching the market from the sidelines, the smartest move right now is understanding where you actually stand and trying not to listen to all the headlines. I know it's hard. We all do it. And if you want help talking through what this market means for you without any pressure, without hype, just a conversation to help you through this, that's a conversation worth having because the biggest opportunities usually don't announce themselves loudly with a bullhorn. They show up quietly and they reward the people who are paying attention and act fast.